see. Is this working? Yep. All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Jason, and I'm here for a daily dose of hope. And I'm just closing down some stuff here. Sorry. Daily dose of hope, day 286. So, what is a daily dose of hope? It's just that the energies on our planet are picking up, and they have been picking up. And as they do, things start to get wackier and wackier and harder to understand. And when that happens, sometimes it can be easy to be knocked off your path of peace, your path in your life. We all have this path in our life that we're walking down, and sometimes the outside events can kind of interfere with where we're going. And we might think too much about these events or worry too much about them. And so what this is all about is just within the yin and yang symbol, right? There's two sides, but then there's that middle line in between, and that's the path that we try to walk down. And so that's what this is about. Usually we have 3 parts, but recently I'm just doing 2, trying to keep them short. Just keep momentum, I guess. Not momentum, but my own energy is kind of not there as much. So yes, anyway, my name is Jason, and nice to meet you, nice to see you again. What I wanted to talk about before I go into the channeling today was, the spiritual process. Spiritual process is, it's not an easy process, right? I always find it very similar to the creative process. So I am a composer, I write music, and it's always difficult. It's like I'll write a piece of music, and then afterwards, maybe I'll let it sit for a few years or whatever, and I look at it and say, oh, that's pretty good. That's not bad. Hey, look at that. And then it's like, maybe I can do this thing. And then I'll go in to write my next piece, and then just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? Well, and you have all these like conversations going in your mind, and it's just like you're battling the ego. You're always battling the ego. And so it's very similar to the spiritual process, because the ego is always trying to knock you down. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be, doing this kind of stuff. And you're not big enough. You should be bigger. If you're not big enough, why are you doing, all these questions and all these things. And it's just like, be quiet. I'm trying to write music here, that doesn't matter. It's like big, small, if you're writing music, you're writing music. You're not becoming big or becoming small. You're just writing music. And so the spiritual process is very similar in the sense that you're always kind of fighting the ego, and you're always fighting those inner voices, not necessarily inner voices, but the voice of your ego saying, you shouldn't be doing this. Why are you doing this? What's the point? Well, all this kind of stuff. And in addition to that, there's a lot of discernment that goes on as well. Like you find, you'll be within the spiritual process, you go through a lot of different things, and you find, how can I put this in a way? Yeah, discernment. Things that you thought were one thing at first when you first started out were not that, and it can be very shocking at first, and then you realize, okay, that's that, and right, okay, I understand. And so it's just a process of discernment. But it can be hard. And so yeah, and so I asked for guidance today, and about that whole idea. And in addition to that, there's another thing that I've been it's been on my mind a lot, is that basically yin and yang, right? There's a lot of stuff about the yin and yang recently, and I'm kind of speaking in obscure language on purpose, but not necessarily. I'm not trying to make it hard to understand what I'm saying, but I'm trying to make it vague. I'm trying to make it, but there's a lot of yin and yang stuff, right? And so the people that are the yin side, in order to get out of the yin part, they have to go all the way into the yang part, and into the people in the yang part have to go into the, there's never an in between. It's always just one or the other. And what do they call it? The Hegelian dialectics, right? Where we're always just keep us all fighting each other, always fighting each other, because that we're easier to control that way. So for example, like if you're if you're trying to solve this problem here, the only way to solve it is you have to go all the way to the other side and you have to find this whole thing over here. And that you're not going to solve it because when you're over here, you're just controlled. Both sides are controlled. They're both controlled. Like there is no side. There's no such thing as a side in that. I mean, there are sides, but if you go to one side or the other, you're controlled. But if you're in the middle path, you're not controlled, or maybe not as much, right? By the matrix itself, this world that we live in has it has certain rules and stuff like that. But if you're walking the middle path, you're not jumping into one side or the other. And so that's something that I find a lot, where people tend to kind of say that the only answer is this, and that there is no only one answer on this planet, no matter where it is. If there's only one answer, then that is possibly a trap. And that's what I just find a lot. And because it's something that it's just, and this is also based on people's belief system, but my belief system is such that I don't see it that way. I see, we're all beings of love on this planet, and whether we're further away from who we are, into more denial about who we are or less denial about who we are, we're deeply connected with source energy. It's not like we need this like intermediary person. That's just like all religions, right? You got this person, you got to go through this person, otherwise you won't get there, because you can't talk directly because you're not good enough. You need, and that kind of stuff always bothered me. I grew up in a Catholic school, and I was, even as a kid, it really always bothered me. It's like, what makes this person closer to God? How could they be closer to God? What did they do different? What do they, nothing. And I always found, like, when I was a kid, like, just observing the teachers who were priests, and how they interacted with people, and how they were very angry all the time, and they were they didn't seem like, nice, godly people. And so that was kind of like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If they're closer, maybe that's not God, right? Whatever, all these different things. I don't know, but just that all these concepts. And but I always find that direct connection is the best, right? If you can connect directly with guidance, then that's, you don't need any of that other stuff. You don't need anyone, right? You just connect, with source, connect with source energy, and then, using your discernment. So anyway, that was my I had a kind of a dark night of the soul, dark few nights of the soul. and but in the end, what the guidance that they gave me was that, like, for example, what I'm doing here, I'm just channeling. It's nothing special. It's just, don't think so much about it, is what they told me. Don't get so, caught up with all these other ideas. You're channeling, you're bringing through beings from other dimensions, and that's it. Whatever, you're just, that's what you're doing. It's nothing special. It's just a thing that you do, and it's your thing that you were given, a gift that you were given. And just, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Whatever you believe, you believe. Whatever you don't believe, you don't believe. But it doesn't matter. Simply, you just do what you do, and then stop worrying so much about it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I mean, just like anything you do, right? For example, if I'm writing a piece of music, it's like, you just do it. All right, maybe, your ego is telling you you're not good enough, you're not creative enough, you're not talented enough, you're not successful enough, and even if you make it, no one's going to listen to it. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but that's separate. Writing music is writing music. Worrying about stuff is worrying about stuff. And what are you going to do? Are you going to do it, or are you just going to worry about it? And so anyway, that was the advice, the pep talk I was given. Anyway, so I'm going to go into a channeling then. Simply go into a channeling. And yeah, so this is a message. I'd like to ask for a message for everyone. Here we go. Greetings. We are here. We are Mary Magdalene. We're here with all of you, always with all of you. And what we'd like to bring forward today is the beauty of the mist that surrounds you at all times, the beauty of the love that you are, the beauty that you cannot see most of the time, but is always there, the beauty that you are perfectly connected with your source, that you have never left your source, that everywhere you walk, everywhere you go, you're always home, you're always home, you're always connected. There's never a point when you're unconnected. That does not exist on this planet. You think that you feel that you're unconnected. You think that you feel that you're not part of love, but you're always part of love. And all that is happening is that you are not looking at it. You're not realizing the love that you are. And that is it. You are love. You are love incarnate on this planet to bring more love to this planet. And that is it. It is a very simple thing. It is a very simple idea. Just as the advice that was brought through for this being as well, it's very simple. Your life is very simple once you boil it down to what are you doing? What are you doing in this life? At this moment, what are you doing? Are you sitting? Are you walking? Are you standing? Are you swimming? What is it that you're doing? That is what you're doing. All of the stories that are in your mind, all of the stories that you're playing out, the little movies, the little dramas, that is not your life. That is your imagination, and that will be your future if you would like it to be, because those will become the future. So when you dream, you think you're idly dreaming, you think you're walking, and instead of walking, you're living in a nightmare that you are creating for your future. So what we would say is simply walk, simply swim, simply sit. Just do the simple thing that you are doing at this moment. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. The past and the future will take care of themselves if you take care of the thing that you are doing at this moment, such as walking, such as talking, such as smiling, such as smelling the winter air, such as walking on dry leaves. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. Do it. Experience it. This is the most amazing time to be on this planet. Experience every second of it. It is such a beautiful, beautiful time. This is not the time to go inside in your brain, in your mind, in your, as you call it, your monkey mind, worrying about things, fretting over things. Those things will work themselves out if you work yourself out and you work your surroundings out and you work out that you are in the most beautiful place imaginable and that you're just walking or you're just standing or you're just smiling. And what a wonderful thing to do. All right. So, hey, Patty, thanks. That's very kind of you to say. Thanks. TT Tracy, love and fire trucks. What a time to be observing the show. Yeah, yeah. And Judy, hello, Judy. Hey, you made it in. So yeah, yeah. So I was having a bit of a dark night of the soul, but I think, yeah, and this message today too, it's just, yeah, don't worry, just do it, just do what you're doing, smile through it, walk through it, you know, it's all good, it's all good. And I think this is part of this whole process, this time that we're in of questioning, and you know, so, but anyway, I hope you guys are all hopeful, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, this seems to be happening a lot too. It's another one of those things that bothers me a lot, is that my technology seems to never work. So like if you request a session and you don't get a reply back, check your junk mail and check again and again, because I don't know why, but it always goes into the junk mail. And it's just, it seems like it's designed to do that. Such is the world, right? So yeah, but yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. So ciao for now.